Hi guys, welcome back. My name's Stu and this is Ocean Fair for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic, part 3 of the Bugfix Scenario Pack. Okay, make this small holiday park more exciting by turning it into a theme park. Your objective, to have at least 900 guests in your park at the end of October year 3 for park rating of at least 600. So already I can see some objects from the expansion pack. So if you haven't got the expansion packs, you are going to have issues getting these to work. It probably won't work. Okay, so let's have a look then. 900 guests in 3 years isn't a lot, so we can afford to take our time and spend a bit more time doing things like scenery and things like that on this map. So we're charging for admission. So the goal there, the immediate goal, is to put down enough rides quick enough that we can charge a decent amount of money. I usually put it to about 40, and then we look at the guests, see how much money they're carrying, whether we can charge more. So the park is closed to begin with, so don't forget to open that up. That is a mistake I've made in the past, where I'm wondering why guests aren't coming in, and then you realise then you've not opened the park. So we've got a couple of transport rides. Really good selection of gentle rides. I mean, these things here you can put down so quick. You could get all of them down before the end of the month and easily charge 40 to come in. A couple of coasters to begin with. Not a great selection, but we only need 900 guests, so it's not too much of a drama. A couple of thrill rides. Probably won't bother with any water rides. It's more water rides there and some shops. Not a great selection of shops, so I think what we'll do, considering we don't need a lot of guests, so rides aren't as critical as they might be if we needed a higher number. So I'm going to put my research into shops to begin with. That way we can make sure that we're taking a lot of money off guests from the shops and giving them a good variety. It is quite a small park, but we do have space to purchase up there. Only £15 as well, so that's quite cheap. Loan interest fairly low as well. And what about construction rights? We've got construction rights over this bit of land as well. I think since it's only 900 guests, we probably won't end up expanding the park. What I'm going to do, because it's nice and flat and fairly small, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the pathing and bring the path along the fence, leaving a one tile gap. That way then I can fill that one tile gap with shops and seating areas. That'll save me some room in the rest of the park. And then something we haven't done for a while is a 10 by 10 park. So that's what I'm going to crack on with. I'll see you soon. May year 1, we're charging £40 for the guests to come in. I've got my path, my shops and some seating areas down as well. So as I unlock more shops, I'll start putting more down. So when I say 10 by 10, what I mean is we use a 10 by 10 area in the middle. So we've got a 12 by 12 pathing grid. And then we should be able to put some nice coasters and track rides and things like that. And then any other rides, any gaps we've got on the outside, we can put some flat rides and things like that. So immediately in this 10 by 10 area then, I've got 5 rides. So we've got a circus, carousel, twist, space rings, Ferris wheel, and then we got a couple of pirate ships as well. So the guests are loving it. Guests are all coming into the park. We have to bear in mind that we do have 2 entrances. So we want to try and even things out as we're building. That's why I've got some shops down this side as well as over this side. Umbrellas, got that to £20. So it is raining quite a bit, so that's going to be handy. We are going to make a ton of money off umbrellas. And spend a little bit more time with fences and flowers and trees and things like that, because it's only 900 guests. We're not going to have any issues with that. So I'm going to carry on. I'll see you soon. October year one, and we've got our first 10 by 10 track ride. So I've gone for a car ride, something we don't build very often. So we've got a couple of the little doors down here for them to go in. It's glitching a little, but it's the way it is. Nice seating area underneath the track there. I quite like that. I think the scenery looks quite good. I think it's turned out all right. For me anyway, I'm happy with it. So 500 guests in the park. We did have a few guests leaving recently. There were a lot of complaints about litter and things like that. Because I'm building so many gentler rides, I haven't bothered putting down as many handymen as I normally would. And then by the time the guests started complaining, there was loads of litter around the place. I kind of zoned out whilst building the car rides and forgot about everything else. But I've put down a load of handymen. I'm not going to bother zoning them yet unless we get some real trouble spots later on. Maybe if we unlock some of the more nausea-inducing rides. So speaking of which, I've put my research now into thrill rides. I think we're done for shops and we don't need any more gentle rides really. So what I'm going to do now is as and when they unlock, I can start putting them down. I have got a couple of coasters that I can put down as well. So that's what I'm going to crack on with. October year two, and I've been a busy boy this year. So, old timers, don't think I showed you the stats. Built that last year, but here's the stats. Decent excitement on that. And then we've gone for a dinghy slide. So I've raised the station up on this one. Usually I do that so I can hide a path underneath, give her a nice little bonus, but haven't used the path this time, but I've still lifted it up in order to get the chain lift up high enough so that when we do the drop, it gives us a drop of over 29 feet, which is what you need for the good excitement on these things. Gone for the enclosed tubing at the bits where they might fall off the track and die. It's okay if they hit their head, that's fine. Dinghy Kong, a solid 5 excitement. Yes, loving it. And then over here then, Wild Mouse, called Wild Thing. Again, got the little doors there, so I've got built up some dirt just there to use as like an entrance for the area. So one thing I usually forget, and I've managed to use this time, is on these you've got a curved drop. So something I tend to forget about on this type of Wild Mouse. Nice high stats on that, guess loving it. And then a go-kart track then on a 10 by 10 ocean carts. Again, high stats on that. Haven't gone for a massive queue on these because the throughput is quite low. We've only got it set to 1 lap. So I do wonder how high we could push that excitement by fiddling with the lap counter. I'm not going to do that, but it's something maybe that I can trial another time. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with the way it's turning out. I think we've only got another year now, so I'm going to switch my research into roller coasters, and there you go. There's a ride that's just unlocked now, another thrill ride that's part of the expansion. So to be honest, it's just a twist with a different skin in it, so I'm not going to bother with that. Speaking of twist, tell you one issue I'm having is mechanics are often having trouble getting to the twist. So it could be because we've got so many paths in such a small area that they are getting confused. So I'm having to zone a mechanic in that area, and even then sometimes it's not quite working. So yeah, so I'm gonna research roller coasters, and maybe I'm gonna go for something a bit bigger. This is sort of like a small park that you would find near a beach, maybe by a pier or something. So I don't know. I don't know what we're going to unlock, but we can see what we can do when they do unlock. October, year 3. We need 900 guests. We've got over 1,500. So we're going to beat it quite easily. It is a very, very simple scenario. So it is one you can take your time on. So we've gone for a wooden coaster here. Moby, after the big whale. High excitement on this. So it comes out of the station, chain lift up, and then series of drops. And then very, very intense bend just here. And then I'll load more sort of dips, some bends, and then back to the station. And then just over here then, I figure, I've never been on one of these SLC coasters. It's a compact inverted coaster is what it's called in the game. So I've never been on one of these in real life. I'm told they're brutal. So I figure this is the sort of coaster that they would have in this park. So it comes up the chain lift, down then into a cobra roll. And then, because I've been wanting to try and use this area up here rather than leaving it blank. So I wasn't sure if I was going to maybe put a shuttle with like a spike up there, but in the end we unlocked this and I figured this would work well. So we've got the cobra roll, then it comes across through the supports of the wooden coaster, and then we've got an Imelman, and then back through the supports of the coaster, helix down, brake run, and back to the station. And this one's called the bends. Nice stats on that. Okay, so when we came in then, we had pretty much an empty park. There was a little hill just over here. I flattened that eventually. So what I wanted to do was get rid of the path, put the path all the way along from the first gate to the second gate with a 1 tile gap. That way then I could use that area for shops and seating areas, save a bit of space for the rest of the park. And then I figured, let's go for a 10 by 10 ride system. So using 12 by 12 pathing. And then that's enabled me to put down some nice track rides then. So the old timers car ride, that looks cool. The dinghy ride I'm happy with. This wild mouse I'm happy with. The go-karts, great stats on that. So these are pretty cool. Got nice densely packed thrill ride section over here. Nice densely packed gentle ride section just over here. I filled this space up over there with a couple of magic carpets and a spiral slide. Loads of balloons all around the place. And then in the areas between the rides then I've just added a few more trees, bushes. A lot of it was already down, and then some fences as well to make it look a bit pretty. It's almost Halloween, only another day to go. Quite a fun scenario this has been. I'm quite enjoying this scenario pack so far. Got a couple of guest rating scenarios at the moment, but we've done it. Fantastic. But the one of the reasons why this scenario pack jumped out to me was the goals did seem to be more varied. So there were less guest and rating scenarios than usual, and then more scenarios that are things like value and that sort of thing, which I think lend themselves better to videos, possibly. I mean, I'm the one that makes them. You're the ones that watch them, so you'll have to let me know. Yeah. So this was Ocean Fair. I've been Ocean Stew. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Bye.